guys came out with the depth chart a couple of days ago. What were some of the harder decisions you had to make there in the secondary?
I don't think it's any. That's probably the hardest part about coaching is setting the depth chart. But we're just trying to find the guys that can execute and play at a high level for us ultimately.
How was the 35 under 30?
I got it.
It was great for my development. I think we talked about this in the spring, but it was great to just be around a bunch of good coaches with great minds and just bounce ideas off each other, pick each other's brains, and just continue to develop myself as a coach.
How would you evaluate the secondary as a whole coming into the season? Obviously, a couple injuries, but just how they're looking right now.
Yeah, I would just say versatility in every way, as far as age, as far as skill set, just as far as where we come from. But ultimately, I think it's always been a melting pot of that. And these guys have attacked it every day. We've challenged each other. We've made practice hard, so hopefully Saturdays are easier for us. But we got a lot to prove to ourselves more than anybody outside of here. So just excited to watch these guys go play.
What's the biggest difference kind of between the fall camp where you're focusing on your own craft to now this week of fall camp when you're trying to prepare for an opponent that really has so many different pieces and parts for week one?
Well, really, you just try to make those things the same and get the players to understand that. Just because we're doing different plays or something like that, we're still sticking true to our training. And continue to develop that. So we got guaranteed 11, 12 opportunities as far as the season goes, but that's an opportunity to continue to peak. That's what we want to do. But we're always focused on ourselves and just getting those guys not to psych themselves out just because the game week comes. We're continuing to work on our things. It's our defense, it's their defense, and we want them to just perfect their craft.
What have you seen from Skylar in the fall, obviously leading the way as one of the best players on the defense?
Just his growth mentally, I think. Watching him grow, obviously I've been here for a while, and I'm seeing him as an 18-year-old and now seeing him as a grown man. Really just his mental management. He comes to work every day. He encourages everybody else. You never really see him go up or down. He's kind of even keel. He's able to handle any situation, and he's still hard on himself. What you see from these NFL veterans is, you play 10 years in the league and still being critical of yourself when things don't go your way or you make a mistake. That's what I continue to see out of Skylar Thomas. But he brings others with him. He continues to hold the standard in the room, and it's just good to see him every day. He checks on me. So now I look at him as a peer, not only my player.
When you guys are kind of assembling like a call sheet and a game plan for week one, how much of that is just concepts you're trying to instill on the field and how much is real game plan against Cal?
Really, it's just the things that we can, what can we defend in the things that we do have, and then there might be game plan things by week if there are any issues presented. So really just trying to find the issues, that way we can practice them, we can talk amongst each other, whether the players see it or we see it as a staff, and then just going out there putting something together to give us the best opportunity to win.
As you take a look at the film this week, film that you can collect of all these new parts, what are some things that you feel like your defense or secondary will have to do in order to win that turnover margin?
Really just first limit the explosives so we can get them in situations where we can dictate just the attack. And really from there just continue to take advantage of the opportunities that we do get. So if we get an opportunity to get our hands on the football, we need to take advantage there. So just being conscious of, again, our rules and the things that we can control, and then when we get opportunities is executing.
It seems like the speed to the ball increased over camp and the intensity, was ratcheted up. I'm wondering, your perspective on that and where that comes from for those guys. That's
the standard, and that's Beaver defensive football. You know what I mean? That's just what we do. We run to the ball, we attack, we have a pressure-oriented mindset, and we'll play tight coverage in the back end. So really that's just those guys honing in on the standard. If we do anything, we'll go out there and we'll play physical fast and make sure we got speed to the ball. So those are just things that we practice every day, and just trying to get these guys like the Skylar Thomases to make sure that we're enforcing all the way down to the new freshmen.
When you've got 4 or 5 DBs on the field at a time in a game, how many are you guys trying to work into the rotation game plan in week one?
As many as we can. I think if we can keep guys fresh and guys that can play good football for us, just going back to a question earlier, is the guys that can play good football for us, that deepens our depth. So those guys that can execute, we don't care who's on the field, what age they are, they can go out there and execute. We feel like we've recruited and done a great job developing to where those guys can go out there and play good football and enjoy themselves.
As a secondary and as a defense, from the start of fall camp to now, where do you guys feel like you've evolved the most?
Really just our understanding of the defense, being more demonstrative in our communication and being sure, getting out that gray area sometimes. And then we're just, like you said, having those different guys out there, the communication can't drop because we substitute somebody else in. So I think that's where we've grown, kind of getting ahead of the issues and then winning before the snap will be key, especially this week.
One of the younger guys that seemed to have a good camp was Harlem. Back at safety. How have you seen his growth and how he fits into that group at this point?
Yeah, I mean, Harlem's a guy that's been in the program for a minute now. He's battled some adversity as far as injury, but just getting him back out there to rebuild his confidence. I think he has great ball skills in the middle of the field. He brings some veteranism to the room. Just seeing him get back out there and be able to contribute, whether it be on teams or filling in at safety, just something that's good for the spirits and good for the Bees as long as we continue to develop him.
People talk about, on-field communication all the time in football, and it makes sense for defensive line and linebackers when they're all, kind of have more proximity, but for DBs, you're spread across the field by so much. I'm curious what that communication looks like, player to player.
It really, like I said, it's getting ahead of the snap. It's confirming pre-snap and post-snap communication, getting it all the way across the field to our corner, from corner to corner. That way, if we have a miscommunication, it can be drastic. So it's really similar to an offensive line. You got 5 guys that have to communicate to get the job done, and if there's accidents, it could be a big leak. So it's imperative, especially at home. It gets loud on third downs, and we play in a big-time stadium. So when we get in front of Reeser, that's how we have to simulate practice, is being able to communicate. We should see ourselves on tape communicating it with nonverbals or whatever the case may be, but people should hear us play.